Hey guys, I'm just gonna go read this third chapter. I mean, why not? It's Twilight gets hit by a car, Edmer Fecler. You know the drill. Let's just get right into it, shall we? Thankfully, it hadn't taken me long to clean the mess I had made in the kitchen, and I walked in to find the pony sipping away at her hot chocolate as she sat in my large armchair, which rested at the center of the living room. I sat down in the rolling chair in front of my computer desk and drawing table, which was located in the corner of the room that shared a wall with my bedroom, trying to be as casual as possible so as not to warrant any concern from my guest. I leaned back slowly and meshed my fingers together beneath my chin. I'd just like to start off by apologizing about my earlier actions. It was the bad combination of sugar rush and realizing I was standing next to a purple talking fairy tale creature. And I overreacted. Twilight rolled her eyes casually. It's fine, I guess. To be honest, I was expecting far worse. So, I began, keeping my eyes on the purple unicorn sitting in my comfy armchair. Twilight swallowed what cocoa she had in her mouth and lowered the mug to her lap as her gaze met mine. Who should go first? I'll start, if you don't mind. I shrugged. By all means, ask away. I'd like to know where I am and how exactly I came to be here. The last thing I remember before waking up in your bathtub is a blinding white light. I swallowed nervously at the last part. Yes, it was an accident, but I still had no idea about this thing's intentions. For all I knew, this happy, cheerful creature could be nothing but a ruse, him masking some dark intent of vengeance. I would have to approach the subject very carefully. Well, I began, to answer where you are, you're in a 3-room lake cabin that's isolated and relatively secluded from the world. The city is mostly across the lake, on the island-like inlet, and the surrounding areas past it. But I don't really think that's important at the moment. As for how you got here, oh man, here's the hard part. Well, I found you in the road on the way here, and I couldn't just let a hurt animal lay in the middle of the street with the head injury. You would have died. Yes, good, that's the truth. It's not the whole truth, but it'll have to do for now. So, you just found me lying in a road? She reached her open hoof up to the bandages around her head. Her eyes seemed to look off into the distance as if something was troubling her. Yeah, I said, cutting her train of thought. I could only hope it didn't involve my hitting her. Lying there with that nasty bump. How's it doing, by the way? Twilight's eyes focused back on me. Oh, it's doing fine, she said in a softer tone of voice. Thanks again for helping me like that. I shrugged casually. No problem. Though, to be honest, considering the circumstances, I think you're lucky someone else didn't run into you. Damn, did I really just say that? Chances are most of the other people would have freaked out and called the cops or something like that. Cops? No, cops? Local law enforcement. You know, the guys who catch criminals and stuff. Twilight nodded, taking in every word I said. But yeah, I figured calling them wouldn't be a smart thing to do, considering, I have no idea what you are or where you came from, and the last thing I'd want is something bad happening and getting either of us in trouble. Speaking of which, I think it's time for some of my questions. Go right ahead, Twilight responded. Celestia knows you must be pretty curious about me. I stared blankly at her. Wow, cannot talk. I stared at her blankly for a second, puzzled over what this Celestia might be. Right. So, what exactly are you? And, if you don't mind, how and why are you here? Shamelessly responded. I could tell the way she scrunched her lips that she was conflicted about saying something. Well, I'm a pony. A unicorn would be more specific. in the land of Equestria. Appropriate name for a place filled with unicorns, I said with a touch of harmless sarcasm. Well, not just unicorns, but pegasi and earth ponies as well. Our three species live in harmony, and our lands thrive. She continued, sounding like she was at the brink of a cocoa-driven lecture. Sounds sweet, I guess, I replied, not really sure how to picture such a place. Okay, so why are you here? Did something go horribly wrong and you made a hasty escape? Huh? Or were you sent to destroy mankind? What? No, Or are you here to study us, learn our customs and characteristics, so that you may get a better understanding of our species? Twilight looked at me with a dumbfounded look on her face. Actually, you pretty much nailed it with the latter, but how did you... Collaborated knowledge from movies, video games, and the internet, I said proudly, crossing my arms. And to think, most people think they make you more dumber. I grinned slyly at my intentionally incorrect wording. Right. Well, as you guessed, I was tasked by my leaders to come here and study mankind incognito. Though I guess the incognito part was kinda ruined when you found me in the road. I couldn't help but chuckle a bit. Yeah, not the best place to, arrive, I guess. Just how did you get here, anyways? Oh, I use a advanced teleportation spell. Though, I'm not sure whether it was the spell or the concussion, but I can't do much magic at the moment. So much for my disguise, she said, whispering the last part. What was that? I asked with a cocked eyebrow. Nothing. In any case, I'm sure my magic will charge over time. Now it was my turn to have a dumbfounded look on her face. On his face. Spells? Magic? You're kidding, right? The stuff doesn't exist here. You can guess why I'm here, but you don't believe me when I tell you about magic? Also, you don't have any magic here? Nope. Well, aside from works of fiction, there's X and cheap parlor tricks, but all that is staged. But hey, who needs magic when you got the intellect to create almost anything? Emphasis on the almost. Twilight opened her mouth as if to say something, but I beat her to it. But that can wait till later, I said, resulting in a pout from the unicorn. Something else I'd like to know is, how are you planning on studying us? I mean, I'm pretty sure people would notice something like you walking around. Well, there again, I know a special spell to turn me into human, and still regain my magical abilities. Even though I was taught by my mentor, it still took me almost a month to master it. My brow furrowed. Wait, you're here to study humans, right? But this is your first time seeing one, I presume? I asked. I began to grow a bit concerned. In person, yes. Then how did you how... I'm just having a bad day with words today, aren't I? Anyway. Then how did you know what we looked like? Much less how to change your body to match that of a human's. Twilight paused to contemplate the question. Well, my mentor showed me how, step by step. She even left me a diagram or two on human anatomy to study that, so I wouldn't be damaging myself internally during the transformation. However, I'm not sure how she knows about human anatomy. When I asked her about it, she never really gave me a straight answer. Well, gee, that's not suspicious at all, I remarked, this time allowing my sarcasm to flow freely. But seriously, though, something about what she was saying made me incredibly uncomfortable. But, not wanting to take the risk, I concluded to inquire about the subject at a later time. Right. Well, is there something else you'd like to know? She asked. I rubbed my chin in a thought for a second. No, I got nothing else right now. Maybe later, though. I guess it's my turn, she said, leaning up in my chair. So, Do you know anything else about what happened to me in the road? I mean, what do you think hit me? Probably a car. They have a nasty tendency to drive on roads, you see, I said jokingly to try to cover for my twitching eye. Then again, do you even know what a car is? No, she said with a shake of her head. Well, where to begin? You see, a car is a complicated machine. It's got a fuel-driven engine that turns a set of 4 wheels beneath it. So it's an automobile. Yeah, basically. A puzzled look grew on my face. But I thought you said you didn't know what a car was. Well, what an automobile is, yes. I've just never heard it called a car before. Besides, only the richer ponies use them as a sort of luxury. We moved far beyond that over here. Cars are mass-produced on factory lines day by day. I said, thinking back to what it might have been like in the early 1900s, back when cars were the newest craze. Wow, that sounds amazing, Twilight said in a sense of awe, her eyes growing ever bigger. I suppose, though, I don't know much about that sort of thing. Anything else you'd like to know? Twilight shook her head to clear away the initial fascination. Right, sorry, so you say I was hit by a car? How do you think it happened? Well, I'm just guessing here, but I'd say you accidentally teleported in front of one as it was driving by. Not that I'd know that, of course. I didn't see anything or anyone around when I found you, I said, beginning to get nervous. Come on, man, keep it together, a voice in my head said. As it did, 2 mental duplicates of myself appeared in my head. One had a white shirt that said Impulse in black, whereas the other had a black shirt that said Logic. Don't you crack now, man. You don't know what this thing will do if it knows you hit her, Logic continued sternly. Dang it, we can't keep an here forever, Impulse interjected. She's gonna find out, man. I know it. I said keep it together, Logic said as he grabbed Impulse's shirt. We can't let ourselves slip. Oh, man, Impulse said, his lip beginning to quiver. What if it really is magical? What if it's reading our minds? What if it already knows we hit it? And it's just toying us, waits for us moment to strike? What are you, crazy? Logic slapped Impulse across the face. It can't read minds, you idiot. If it can teleport here and turn itself into a human, who says it can't read minds? They both looked at Twilight, who just sat there looking in silence. A nervous look was growing on her face as it sat there. Oh, Lord, Logic said in a deep, fearful voice. You're right. Quickly, act natural. La 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 la. Twilight shifted her eyes a bit, slowly taking another sip of her cup of Jimmy. It's not working. She's onto us, man. Oh, no. It's not working, man. She's onto us, Impulse cried out in panic. Damn it! Act more natural! La 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 la! La la la! So, Twilight said, breaking the silence. I blinked a few times to regain focus. I was wondering, why did you react the way you did when you heard my name? Something about a movie? Oh, that. Thank heavens, she's changing the subject, Logic said with a relieved sigh. Well, the Twilight films are movie renditions of a popular book series about vampires and werewolves and crap. It's just, the movies are so horrible, the story is bunk, the characters are about as bland as a bowl of rice, and it's shit. Twilight's eyes widened slightly at the cursing. Some idiot teenager chick falls in love with the moronic emo vampire named Edward, who I loathe in particular for making my name look bad. And then some werewolf falls in love with her, and the world starts, and she gets pregnant, and then she dies, and then she's a vampire, and vampires don't fucking sparkle in the sun! I cut myself short, realizing I was losing my grip. Sorry, I can get carried away at times. But yeah, I'm not a fan. Well, Twilight blinked her widened eyes. That's, I guess it explains why you freaked out earlier. I nodded my head to one side. Anyways, changing the subject. Are you hungry? Because I sure am. I could go for something a bit more substantial than a cup of hot chocolate. Yes. How's pancakes and eggs sound? A grin began to spread across my face. That sounds good. Not only that, but they are good. I don't want to seem like I'm bragging, but I can make some pretty darn good pancakes. I chuckled. Heck, I'd even go so far as to say it's my special talent. Though my other hobbies would be a close second, I said, motioning to the workstation behind me. Ooh, what do you do? I'm a banker by profession, but writer, drawer, and part-time animator by personal interest. I've written a couple popular stories so far, though I'm focusing a bit more on the drawing side of things recently. Sounds interesting, she continued, looking past me to the equipment I had set up. It has its ups and downs, but more on the later. I'm hungry. I stood up and walked over to Twilight. You want another glass of Jimmy before I get cooking? She nodded and held up the mug with the hoof. I grabbed the mug but paused for a second, wondering how she was even be able to hold it without any fingers. Thanks, she said kindly, cutting off my curious thought. Uh-huh. Oh, right. No problem. I turned and walked to the kitchen with a smile on my face. That's right. Go, make her some of your pancakes. Anything to keep her from asking us how she got hit. Logic said. Shh, she could be still listening. The impulse waved his arms around, but Logic pushed him away. Right, act natural. Just smile and wave, friend. That is a reference. I'm not going to point it out. I'm going to see if anyone else can figure that reference out. Down in the comments, can you figure it out? Logic said as I turned. Right, act natural. Just smile and wave, friend. Logic said as I turned and gave a little wave, to which Twilight smiled and returned the kind gesture. Just smile and wave. The author's notes. Post-release note. Yes, apparently the site or story or something is bugged, making it not show updates for most people. In fact, it didn't even register as published for me until over half an hour later. In light of this, for those people who aren't getting its updates, I'll just keep an eye out for it on Saturday, about every 2 weeks. With any luck, I'll be able to post steady chapters along this schedule. Again, I apologize for the technical issues, but I know as much about it as you folks. Thanks for reading, and have a nice day. Fecler. Alright guys, this has been a reading by the Brony Reviewer, and thank you for staying with me through this. And when he releases the 4th chapter, then you better bet I'll be there to read it. See you guys. Bye!